Salute and welcome everybody to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, an enthusiast of motorsport and combat aviation. And this is the second episode of our second mission battling for the skies in War Thunder. In this episode, we will try to improve our skills and finish setting up our controls. So let's see how it developed. Weapons clear. So, today we will continue our mission exploring War Thunder as we've started in our first video. If you didn't watch it yet, I'll leave the link for it here on the top right corner and also in this video's description. I recommend you to do so you understand how we've got here and also have some fun with my newbiness. And if you haven't watched the videos about our first mission in Gran Turismo, and sim racing is your thing, I'll also leave the link for the Mission 1's playlist the same way, so when you finish watching the War Thunder videos you can get there and have some fun on the tracks and also learn the first steps you must take before you start racing competitively in Gran Turismo 7. So, in the first video we've flown our first missions and it was very hard. Everything very new and different, especially because I came from flying BMS in the past. Things are very different there. The controls, the dynamics of the flight and battle, the pilot's perspectives, but I tried to improve and learn something here. Unfortunately, I couldn't record directly from my screen as I was playing, but I got all the replays and recorded it to you. The most difficult thing to me so far has been how to control the plane and look around, trying to achieve situational awareness and take fast decisions. Doing it with the mouse and keyboard has been a pain in the neck. Besides, some of the controls are counterintuitive for someone who came from a more realistic simulator as BMS or DCS, but we must adapt. I'm not leaving the information as players' nicknames, chat, tactical map and etc. on screen because I feel the screen gets too cluttered with it, but I want to know from you. Do you prefer it clean or you prefer the information there? Leave me a comment telling me how you prefer it, and then I'll adjust it for the next episodes. I'll also try to record it directly from screen, in case you like the info on screen better, but I won't promise that as my laptop isn't so powerful and it may not record so well when playing live. Actually, I must get a rig which is strong enough to run everything because it isn't recording very well so far. Sometimes it lags a little bit. As you can see on screen, right? The recordings are not what we could call exactly fluid, yeah? Well, my fifth battle started flying with the P-26A, managed to shoot down an enemy plane in the clouds but got busted right after. Now let's see what we can do with the F3F. You can see I'm trying to deal with the cockpit, but as I'm struggling to figure out how to look around, it's not being very nice. Maybe it's better if I use the third view's perspective after all. And that's what we're gonna do with the F3F, even because it doesn't have a cockpit model, it seems. We've managed to shoot down a foe there who was not trying any defensive maneuvers, maybe because it was already busted by the damage received before. Back into the furball, you can see how terrible my aiming is. I'm pretty sure you're not learning anything from me yet as I'm getting a beating here, but for sure you're having some fun and laughing from my noobiness. But we'll learn and get better. And if you're enjoying those videos, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the like button, leaving a comment telling me your opinion, your suggestions for further videos, sharing this content with your friends, and finally clicking on the subscribe button and activating the notifications bell so you'll receive the notifications when the next videos come in the channel and you don't miss a thing. I really must stop trying those head-to-head passes, at least until I get better control of the plane so we can maneuver offensively, defensively during the pass. I'm being a little slack here, I must confess, as I'm trying to learn the basics but also have some fun in the process. Almost had another mid-air collision there, and then again a frontal collision. Oh my gosh, let's get to the next one, shall we? Mission 6, we got 2 kills, 3 assists and died once. We start with a side pass on this TBD1 and heard it, but don't engage and just zoom. Then we try some passes on some enemy flying around. Despite being attacked by an enemy fighter, keep engaged on the second TBD-1. After the pass, I try some dodging maneuvers trying to escape my pursuer and then go for another shooting pass after the TBD-1. Then I'm forced to engage on a defensive fight, but end up being shot down. Then I get to the F3F and start attacking this S81. I turn back and keep on a pure pursuit, but bombers do shoot back with their defensive guns, so I get hit a few times there. Then I just turn away and re-engage, trying to make it more difficult for his defensive guns to hit me, and also reload my own guns. Friend joins in, and we finally set this S81 on fire. Back to the football, I try some passes against some enemy fighters and end up engaged into a dogfight this time. Get some hits, badly damaged there. But managed to shoot a BF2C1 there. Some more turns trying to hit any enemy flying around, and then start this little effective attack against this fighter, but then the mission is over. Battle number 7, for this one we'll get 3 kills and die once. Again in the cockpit of the P-26A, and we're attacked by an enemy fighter who comes from nowhere. I get damaged, try some dodging maneuvers there, and extend as I climb to try and attack against an enemy bomber I can see at my 1 o'clock high. I managed to deliver some hits on it, but keep being attacked, and by this time I'm severely damaged already and don't have the acceleration or climbing speed to keep on the bomber's pursuit. Well, I've got 2 severely damaged there, as you can see. Now the F3F start an attack against this PBY Catalina. Extend a bit and come for a pure pursuit. It's firing back, so this pure pursuit is very dangerous. I know it's not the best approach, but I lack speed and my aiming is not allowing me to take them down in a one pass. A friend joins in, but the Catalina is still flying. I finally managed to set it on fire and shoot it down. get a shooting pass against this full fighter and then extend, climbing to try and hit this TBD-1 crossing at my 12 o'clock high. Then, as I maneuver to get on the second pass from his 5 o'clock, he starts shooting back and hits me hard, but I also hit him hard and then he goes defensive. I climb over and use a barrel roll to avoid the overshoot and keep offensive, but my guns are out of ammo and a friend comes from below, doesn't see me, I don't see him. And he rips my wing off, but I keep flying despite my balance is heavily affected now, and keep my attack. I don't get the kill and my plane is wounded, so now I decide to try and take it back to the airfield and save it. Battle number 8, we experimented dropping some bombs over the enemy bases now. By this time I got a new F3F, so I'm not flying the P-26A anymore. We started attacking this BF-2C1, but it was busted by our allied Yak-2. Now let's focus on our bombing pass. Bombs dropped, minor damage over the enemy base, an Immelmann as there is an enemy F3F after us, and then try another head-on pass, which ended bad for me. Nothing changes after that, so we get now to my mission number 10. I jumped to mission number 9 because there was nothing interesting there. Got no kills, no good passes, and mission number 10 will be the one interesting until we get our new fighter, the Brewster F2A1 Buffalo, which we will explore more in the 3rd episode of this series. Remember, for every mission flown here, I'm experimenting with new control setups, trying to learn how to maneuver my planes properly and how to get the best setup within my fingers range, so every battle is a learning process here. 3 allied planes over this TBD-1, I keep on pursuit and get the final blow on him, shooting it down. Now I engage another TBD-1 and this time try not to keep the pure pursuit, avoiding his defensive guns, which works as he hits the mounting and I get the kill. Well guys, that's what we've got for this 2nd episode, getting better slowly but steady. And if you like this video, you want to learn together with me as we evolve and progress in the game, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the like button, leaving a comment telling me your opinion, your suggestions for further videos, sharing this content with your friends, and finally clicking on the subscribe button and activating the notifications bell so you will receive the notifications when the next videos come in the channel. I appreciate you who followed me so far, salute, and I see you on the next mission.